Hi, Gary Port for NY Divorce Facts, here with Kosho, Yuzu. Mach is already eating. I already gave him one. And inside the teal's cage is Azuki. Early today, Azuki got on my shoulder and was just chilling for a while. And then I gave her a sunflower seed, and she decided that she had enough of me. The green cheeks are not as affectionate as the teals. With the teals, I can put my finger up near their face and they'll just poke at me. If I put my finger near the green cheeks without food in my hand, I'm going to lose a finger. Right, Matcha? Yeah, here's another sunflower seed, sweetie. You know, I do some stand-up on the side. Some of you may have seen those videos. And I've got a new joke talking about me going to Japan in the 80s. And it ends with people confusing me with Woody Allen. And someone was very uncharitable and said to me, you don't look like Woody Allen. You look like John Oliver after a 15-year bender. Now, that's kind of hurtful. I mean, let's put it out there. John Oliver is a devastatingly handsome man. I mean, guy's almost an Adonis. That strong nose, that weak chin, that receding hairline. I mean, the man's gorgeous. On the other hand, I think John Oliver would be lucky to grow into me. My nose is so much stronger, my chin not much weaker, and my hairline hasn't merely receded, it's retreated. And apropos of nothing really in particular, I'm going to go on to today's topic, which is attorney's fees and divorces. One of the big questions that we get asked all the time, particularly from a spouse who doesn't make as much money as the other spouse, my spouse makes $250,000, $500,000. They're going to bury me. What can I do? Well, there is a New York statute on this that states that if one spouse makes less money than the other spouse, the court can award attorney's fees. Now, it isn't the discretion of the court, but there are some factors that we can look at and will generally let us know whether or not the judge is going to order attorney's fees. I don't know what that one was about. So, first is, does the party who makes more money have enough money to pay for their own attorney? So if one spouse is making $70,000 and another spouse is making $30,000, attorney's fees are probably not going to be awarded. On the other hand, if one spouse is making, say, $500,000 a year and the other spouse is making $30,000 or $40,000, yes, attorney fees are more than likely going to be ordered in that case. Now, the question is how much, and that's going to be, again, discretion of the court. How much money should the attorney's fees be? Now, let's say the spouse makes $30,000 is going to get $2 million worth of assets. Well, chances are then the attorney's fees aren't going to be that big because there's going to be an offset with the amount of assets. But if there aren't going to be that many assets going to the lower earning spouse, then the percentage of attorney's fees may be higher. This is a somewhat complex question because it has a lot of factors. Again, the main factor that we're looking at is the income of the higher wage earner. How much money is that person making? How much money is the person who's a lower income person making? If you have a person who's making $500,000 a year and someone's making $100,000 a year, well, then some amount of attorney's fees will probably be ordered. Now, there's something else that also has to be considered with these attorney's fees issues. When the lower income spouse is signing the agreement with the attorney, even if the attorney says, don't worry, we're going to go after your spouse for the attorney's fees, read through that attorney's retainer agreement. I guarantee you it says that you will be responsible for those attorney's fees regardless of whether or not the court orders your spouse to pay or not. What that means is, let's say the attorney's fees are $100,000 and the court says, okay, I'm going to order $50,000 to be paid. The remaining $50,000 will still have to be paid by the spouse who hired the attorney. And if the court doesn't order any attorney's fees, that spouse is still going to have to pay that attorney whatever those attorney's fees were. If you have any questions about it, please feel free to call me at Port and Sava, 516-352-2999. That's 516-352-2999 for a free 15-minute consultation.